What is going on, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Monday, November 30th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. In today's video, we want to go over what's happening with the second phase of the PTS. We want to answer some questions we received over the weekend, as well as go over what we hope we can hear from developers this Wednesday at the next State of the Game. Now, if you happen to be new to our channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. Finally, as most of you know, we have giveaways here, and our current one is for a $100 gift card to either the Xbox or PlayStation store. And all you need to do to enter is subscribe to our channel here or follow us on Twitter. Either way is fine. We will be announcing the winner on December 10th of this year, and as I've said in every previous video, watching our content is not a requirement to win. Only watch the things you may enjoy. That's why we give you the option of entering via Twitter. Having said that, let's get into today's video. So one thing I want to bring up real quick as we start is a lot of you are asking what build I was using in last Friday's video because it was just melting NPCs, and it's a build that I use for heroic difficulty. However, in the footage you saw on Friday, that was a normal. That's why it looked just incredibly powerful. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos, one thing I like to do is for the season, since it is so repetitive and certain missions I just don't enjoy running, I do most of it on normal. That way I can just rip through it and not even have to think about the actual gameplay itself. I mean, you can see by the footage here, I'm just running this on hard difficulty because I was just doing a time trial, and to be honest, like I said a second ago, I'm just trying to get through Season 3, so that way when TU12 drops, I'm totally caught up and ready to, continue the story from there. With that being said, my friends, we will now get into talking about the second phase of the PTS. And unfortunately, as you can see from the footage on the screen, I'm not on the server right now because I'm constantly getting Bravo errors and I just can't log in. And while that is incredibly frustrating to say the least, I will not let that discourage me to the point where I will not bring you an update on what's going on in the game and what we've heard from other gamers. So now we want to take some time and go over some of the most commonly asked questions that we received over the weekend. So the first thing we want to talk about, and by far the most commonly asked question that we get, is what is going on with the loot? Is it getting better? What's the drop rate like? How are the actual rolls? Are they rainbow? Are they close to maxed out? Can you see a difference on the difficulties? Like, what's actually going on? So the good news is that from the majority of feedback that we've gotten, a lot of you have seen a nice improvement in the loot quality, especially in regards to the summit, as most of you before were just having the worst luck with it. Now, I sincerely hope they take some time on the next state of the game and talk about loot, because as I mentioned previously, my biggest fear is now that they're introducing, the optimization station, will that decrease the quality of loot that we're finding in the open world? Which now actually brings us to the next topic we want to get into, which is optimizing your weapons. And we are still hearing from a ton of people out there that the cost of the optimization is way too high. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about cost, I'm really talking about the amount of time it takes to get the components you need to actually optimize something to its fullest. Now, one of our awesome family members, Brian, actually sent me a direct message, or not a message, he commented on one of the videos in regards to the PTS, and he talked about the fact that, so he was referencing his Dark Winter SMG, and it was to get the damage from 14.6% to 15%. And in order to get that 0.4% damage increase, he would need to have like 89 SMG alloys, which is like breaking down, 89 SMGs and a bunch of other things. And we're talking hours upon hours of gameplay for a really small damage increase. Now, to be totally fair, the developers have said that in the PTS, we don't have access to all the ways in which we can farm for these components, and that once they do launch Season 4, there will be more ways to get these things. However, having said that, I also know there's a large portion of the community that is very leery of what the development team says, and that's really unfortunate because I don't know where the disconnect is, but they really have to back up the things they say. So as most of you know, there was no state of the game last week. However, the division did put out a message, and it talks about, the second phase of the PTS and when it starts and the patch notes and a bunch of different stuff. Now, as you scroll down, it says a routine maintenance was performed on November 24th that featured no player-facing changes. And then a little bit below that, it says we have a list of known issues that we are actively investigating. Now, when you click on that link, it takes you to this page. And what I want to highlight is at the very top, and it says known issues, title update 11, updated November 3rd. So what they've done is on November 27th, they've sent you to a link that was updated almost a month ago. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because of the fact that this, in my opinion, is at the core of where the frustration lies for people who've been playing this game that really want to know what we can look forward to. The other thing players really want to see is an acknowledgement of issues that we've been mentioning for a while, and in nowhere on that page does it talk about Dark Zone issues in regards to cheating or missing items in inventory or anything of that nature. I mean, unfortunately, the only thing that's on that page are issues that they said they fixed a while back. I mean, we're talking about issues where you're getting stuck behind a shuttered door and global directives aren't working properly. And, people aren't getting their apparel keys. I mean, that goes back a bit. I mean, you guys have heard me say every time Trick or Mackenzie is on the state of the game, you know someone with passion is talking about the game. Like, it's awesome. You can see how much they want this game to succeed. I guess to sum it up, it's, you guys know, like I've said this so many times, I love this game. Like, I absolutely love it. I love the community, the people who I play with, and just, it's a brotherhood and sisterhood, and it's really one of the best things. And I guess what I really hope to see moving forward is that excitement and energy being brought to the table when it comes to talking about the future of this game from the game itself. You know, we want this to be great. We know it can be great. Let's get this thing moving. Now moving on to the new gear sets and items and weapons and exotics. I mean, the thing is one thing we have heard consistently from the community is that a lot of these items, like, you're going to be able to make some amazing hybrid builds. I mean, for those of you that have seen my most recent videos like this, you know, I have talked nonstop about that Scorpio shotgun, and I don't care what I have to do to farm for that thing, I'm going to, because it is so much fun to use and it just shreds NPCs. And in my opinion, the most important thing a game can do is make the player want to continue playing. Like, I want to be excited to play this game. I want to be able to farm for things and know that I'm going to get some decent gear out of it. And I think it's safe to say that as a community, we have been beyond patient in regards to waiting for really decent content for this game. So let's hope that this is putting us in the right direction to actually get there and give us the things we've been asking for. And having said all that, my friends, I think we're going to start to wrap this video up. I want to take a moment and thank you all so much for the continued support. We're closing in on 6,000 subscribers, and it's just absolutely amazing how you've welcomed us into this community. Now, I wish I had more answers for you in regards to ongoing issues that we're having in the game right now. I assume with Title Update 12, there's going to be a laundry list of not only older issues, but, current ones as well. So hopefully on Wednesday, they'll address certain things and give us an actual timeline and when we can expect it. As always, on Wednesday, we will bring you a State of the Game recap, and it should be a really good one. I cannot imagine them showing up, and I know it's happened a few times before, but when we've been on hiatus like this, they show up and say, oh, it's going to be a short one after, the break we've had. I don't see that happening this week. And the main reason I say that is that we are at a transition point with this game. It's either going to get really great or they're going to move on to the next one. So they know the importance of keeping the community active, and right now is the last chance they have to really do that, especially with the fact of all these new games coming out. Anyway, my friends, as I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. But most importantly, as always, take care, be kind, and we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Thanks again, everybody.